In today's video I'm going to show you how to plaster a ceiling. I'm going to walk through trowel techniques, how to apply it, how to finish your corners so they look banging, and overall techniques on how to get a perfect looking ceiling from start to finish. So here's what we're dealing with. It's a plasterboarded ceiling I'd done the day before, so a very simple background to work on. We're going to be using multi-finish plaster here, which is used for a wide variety of different backgrounds. So we're going to mix it up. We don't go into the mix in this video. I'm going to show you how to get a free resource on how to learn this at the end of the video, so stay tuned if you want to learn the full process of plastering. But basically we're mixing up a nice tub of plaster, making sure I've got enough gauge for the area, and what we're going to do is show you a full brief breakdown on how to start plastering this ceiling. So the first thing you want to be thinking about is to be wearing glasses. Look, I've been doing this for many years now. If you're just starting out, or if you're someone who's just trying to learn the ropes, please get a set of glasses on, because if you get a dollop of this plaster in your eye, it is going to hurt. Now look at that, that was just waiting for it to fall on my head, to be fair. I've been doing it for many years, so look, seriously, I know I'm not wearing them, but look, I'm stupid as well. I should be wearing them. I just don't. I get complacent, and if this was to go in my eyes, then it'd be a trip to the hospital. So that is the first thing I'm going to say. First off, the main thing to consider is the difference between plastering a ceiling and a wall is the fact we've got this thing called gravity working against us. So the first thing you want to do is, when you're getting the plaster from the hawk, what we want to do is hold it up at a 90-degree angle, so we're keeping that plaster on nice even keel to the trowel. That's the first thing you want to be practicing, is just making sure that you can hold the trowel at a 90-degree angle. See there where I'm holding it? I was holding it at 90 degree whilst moving. That's what we're going to be looking for. That's the first step. So practice that to begin with, just making sure that we're going to offer the trowel to the ceiling with the plaster in hand, because that is probably one of the trickiest parts. The other thing is, we don't want an open trowel when we're applying the plaster. We want to keep the trowel close to the ceiling as we're applying it, because what this means is going to spread it evenly across the ceiling without it splashing over. If we have an open trowel when we're applying it, then it's just going to go all over the floor, all over us, and it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. We don't want that. So in terms of movements, I work from the left, following to the right, and I always aim for the centre of the room. That is like my North Star. That's what I want to be aiming for. So the closer I can get to the centre of that light bulb, the better. What I'm doing is, ideally you'd start on a small ceiling if you're working out, and what you do is work from the edge of the wall to the centre. Now if you can't do that, you're going to have to do it in two stages. So what I've done is I've gone from the outer edges as far as I could, and then I've worked from the centre of the light working outwards. That way we're always going to close in on ourselves. What you don't want is to have big trowel lines all over your plaster. This way I'm working back on myself, troweling any lines behind, and then when I get to the next stage, I can then trowel the lines out, moving from the outer edge to the centre again. It's just to make sure that we're covering our bases, we haven't got ripples and lines everywhere. Again, this is plastering. Plaster can set and it can turn when you least expect it, so you want to make sure that you're getting your ceilings as flat as you possibly can. Now as you can see, again I'm aiming for the centre. This time I've got a chimney breast, which means I can actually work right to the centre of that switch without coming back on myself. So this is the ideal situation. Again, you're starting out, start on a smaller ceiling so you can get this in mind. Now there's a little issue with ceilings that you will find. There is going to be points where the ceilings have got undulation, where they're not completely level. This is where you want to be practicing to trowel both sides. As you see, I troweled out towards the light switch to begin with. Look at these ripple lines. That basically means there's a massive dip in the ceiling. So what you have to do is trowel the other way to get them lines out. This is just going to ensure that we've got a flat-ish looking ceiling. Look, you're not going to see these, but you want to make sure that you haven't got these ripple lines on show. And I wouldn't have known that was there until I actually started plastering. I plasterboarded this ceiling myself. I thought it was pretty good. Problem is, joists move over time. Gravity will pull joists down. The weight above will pull the joist down, which means you generally have a lot more undulation on ceilings typically than you do walls. So you really want to be getting into the habit of troweling and applying the plaster both ways to make sure that we're filling in any gaps, and we're making sure that we are fully aware where them hollow and low spots are. and it just generally means we are going to get flatter ceilings to begin with. So that's the first coat on. There's some trowel techniques to consider when you next get onto a ceiling. Now, I'm not going to go through the second coat. The second coat works exactly the same way as the first. Working from the left, travelling to the right along the edges of the room, making sure that we're filling all the areas as we go. Again, the wider span you can have when you're applying the plaster, the better, because the easier it is to fill in the area. We've got one detrimental issue here, is the fact that we're working off a ladder or a hop up. It doesn't give you much span, where if you're working on walls, you literally can just walk with a trowel, you're all good. Now, I actually use a lot of stilts. I like using stilts. Again, it's not very ideal for beginners, but if you are a plasterer and you do really want to get better at plastering ceilings, I cannot recommend more than anything using a set of plastering stilts. They are brilliant and really do speed up the process. Feel a bit weird at first, but they are an absolute game changer. So if you are taking this seriously, then I do recommend that. Again, as you see now, I'm applying the plaster both ways, making sure I'm getting them ceilings flat. Like I said, there is going to be a lot more movement in ceilings, which means they typically do have lower high spots in areas, just due to the circumstance of how buildings are made. So that's both coats of plaster applied. Again, I didn't really want to go through the second coat and bore you. I've already spoke about it once. So I'll get myself cleaned up, get all the buckets cleaned, get the tools cleaned once you've applied your plaster, move your mixing bucket aside, and what I like to do is get a nice bucket of water, give myself a little clean as well. When you're doing ceilings, if you knew, you're going to get covered in the stuff. Now I've only got a few little drops, but I still like to have a little clean up. So let's get into the flattening stages. Again, this is going to be a brief run through of how to start plastering ceilings. I really want to teach you the fundamentals, and from there you can go forward. But what we're going to do is flatten the first and second coat of plaster. So again, working towards the edges, keeping our trowel relatively close to the ceiling. You don't want an open trowel when you're troweling at the early stages of plastering. You're just going to pull the plaster back off, and you're not actually going to be compressing the plaster into itself. The closer you can get the trowel towards the ceiling when you're flattening, the more compression you're going to get, the more you're going to push the plaster into itself, and the flatter your ceilings / walls are going to be. Now, a big problem for beginners is they forget and they neglect the corners. You want to make sure you be tucking your trowel tight into them corners, and you really pay attention from the early stages of flattening. Don't do this when you're 5 stages in and the plaster is virtually set. You want to be looking after your corners from the beginning. This is so crucial, and it's such an easy mistake for beginners to make, but it's one that you really shouldn't be making. You need to get into the habit of looking after your corners. If you look at the edges, and everything in the center will look after itself, but the edges is something that is really often neglected. In my eyes, is a real rookie mistake. You don't really want to be doing that. Again, everything in the middle gets filled out. So what I'm doing, as you can see, I've got a longer span now. I'm not carrying a hawk, so I can get a real big trowel, and I can really start flattening that ceiling, aiming for the center of that ceiling again, aiming for the light switch, and I'm really going to push that plaster into itself. If we're seeing any low spots, you want to be using fat from the plaster, filling it in, and then coming back on yourself, troweling out. What I am doing is make sure that I'm leaving no lines behind. I really want to trowel through and push any ripples, lines out I've got. Now I'm on the top step of the ladder. Generally, I mean, I'm working over a bookcase here. Got my head right in the ceiling. But generally what we're going to be aiming for is to have a fist-sized space above our head to the ceiling. That is a perfect distance from where your head needs to be to the ceiling. That way it's not going to be as much work when you're flattening or applying the plaster. It's not going to be as hard on the shoulders, and you're going to find it easier in terms of fitness and in terms of stamina to get this flat, because what you'll find is at the beginning it will really burn the shoulders. That is one of the things. Now, closed in, this is the first flatten. This is where I want to start wetting the edges. This is the second stage of flattening. Now, what I'm doing now is wetting the edges of the ceiling. This is when I get my brush out. Again, make sure them corners are bang on, and we really want to start wetting them up now. And then we're going to add a bit of moisture to the situation. The plaster is going to be starting to dry at this stage, so we want to add a bit of lubrication to make sure that from this point it gets a bit easier. Again, your shoulders might be burning. If you're new to plastering, your shoulders might be a bit on fire by this point. Make it easier, add a little bit of water to the mix, and that ensures that it's going to give you a better chance of getting that plaster flattened. Now this is the third flat. Like I said, we're briefly running through it now. We wetted the edges at the last stage. This is where you want to be using the edge of the trowel and scraping any excess plaster that have led onto the wall. This is really, again, I'm banging on about it now, I'm boring myself, but them angles are so important, which is why you want to clean any snots, any little blobs on the adjacent walls. I see that coffee and biscuits, that was a banging customer, by the way. Lovely customer who got me that, so that's always perks of the job, isn't it? Again, if you can, get the big sweeps in. The bigger the sweeps you've got when you're plastering a ceiling, the easier it's going to be. And now this might sound strange to a beginner, but I actually think ceilings are easier than walls. There's no plug sockets, there's nothing to worry about, there's no door frames, there's no architraves, there is nothing. Generally speaking, you just have a nice span of space that you need to get flat. That's why they are actually easier than walls when you get used to it and when your body gets used to it. Like I said, the main and hardest thing at the beginning is just dealing with the stress and the burden on your shoulders. Now we're on the final sections here. What we want is lots of water. We want a lot of water on the edge of the ceiling, and we also want lots of light. We want to be able to see what we're doing. We wanted light throughout the whole process of applying the ceiling because we want to see where the ripples are, we want to see where the lines are, and we need to make sure that we've got everything bang on. If you have no light when you're plastering, you've got no chance. You need to be able to see exactly what you're doing, and its final stages is just as true, because what we want to be doing is getting the best finish we can. So that's a basic run through on how to plaster a ceiling, but here's the truth. Most people don't struggle with the trowel work, they struggle with everything before the skim even goes on. They're unsure about the background, they don't know if it needs bonding to get it flat, they don't know if it needs sealing, they don't know how it's going to drop, if it's going to drop in your face, if you're going to apply it right. And that uncertainty is what makes ceilings feel stressful. Now that's exactly why I created my free plastering course. I walked you through the 7 simple steps of plastering I use on every job in the right order, so you're not second guessing yourself halfway through. Because plastering isn't hard when you know the sequence. If you want to move from I hope this works to I know exactly what I'm doing, click the link below in the description. Each day I'll send you an email with a video, and you'll learn the strengths of plastering. Now it's no fluff, just clarity. So yeah, get on that, learn how to plaster properly, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.